we'll start with thinkorswim's memory settings. Seems a lot of people don't know about this, but so once you have thinkorswim open, click on this gear icon in the bottom left corner. Down at the bottom here, you'll see memory usage. So the recommended settings, if you have 4 gigs of RAM, is 512 for the lower, 1536 for the upper. If you have 8 gigs, it's going to be 1024 and 3072. If you have 16 to 32 gigs, it's going to be 4096 to 6144. I've actually found having a lower number on the lower side is actually a better thing than having a higher number. And the reason for that is thinkorswim will collect garbage on its own and basically free up memory that it's using. And the lower your number is on the low side, the more often that thinkorswim will be forced to collect garbage. So you can play with this setting. I have 32 gigs of RAM, and I use the 1024 setting for it. I have a feeling 512 might even be better. And if you actually think about it, you're not telling thinkorswim that it can't use less than 1024 memory or 512. You're saying the minimum amount it can use is 512 or 1024. So once you've done that, just click on save. So the next thing we can do for optimizing thinkorswim is if you open File Explorer, go to your local disk C. You're going to go to Program Files, thinkorswim. Then you're going to find thinkorswim .vmoptions. So it's going to be down here. But so what you're going to do is you want to take this and put it on your desktop because you're not going to be able to edit it in here. Once it's on your desktop, you'll want to open it with Notepad, and you'll want to edit it to look something like this. And I'll post all of this, like I said, in the description for when I post the video. Or you can also look at, I'll post this in the Orbs chat. You can look at this Reddit thread where it explains. So once you edit it, you're going to move this back into your thinkorswim. Whoa. And then close this. In thinkorswim, there's quite a few settings that you can change. If you click on Setup, Application Settings, you're going to want to go to, I always have to look through everything. So quote speed, you want real time, no delay. That's assuming that you have like a fast computer and fast internet. If you don't, you might have to use like fast or moderate, depending on your setup. But with a decent computer and decent internet, you should be able to use real time. For startup, I always do last used. So thinkorswim opens up exactly how I had it when I was last using it. And then within here, I think the only other thing is like if you click on order defaults, you can set your default quantity that you want. For options, I have 1, but I actually use Active Trader, which we'll go over in a minute. Yeah, I have my order settings right in Active Trader. If you don't use Active Trader, hopefully you will be by the end of this video. So I think that's really it as far as the optimization portion of thinkorswim. I know it's not a ton, but if you are lagging in thinkorswim, you can click on Help and you can collect garbage. This is what I was talking about at the very beginning of the video. If you use a lower memory setting for your low memory setting, thinkorswim will be forced to collect garbage a lot more often. But you can always do it manually if you're having lag issues. I think next I'll just go over Active Trader. I think it's super important. Everybody should be using it. All right, so for Active Trader, I use the flexible grid, and I'll show you how I configure this. You click on this show grid actions here. And you're going to click on customize grid. Most people probably know how to do this, but just in case people don't, you can add, more grids here or remove grids. The main one is down here. You have to click on sidebar, and you can see on the sidebar here you have C, which is chart, and AT, which is active trader. So me personally, I just turn off the chart and I only turn on active trader. And then I close the sidebar just because I don't want to look at it when I'm not using it. And then uncheck customize grid. From here, you'll click on the settings icon, gear icon. And you'll want, I believe, like this is down here under second line, and something else, quantity with buttons, I believe, is down under second line as well, like by default. You'll want to move both of these up to the first line and click OK. But basically, you'll probably want to just edit your list to look like mine here. And once you do that, so you'll have the quantity up here and you'll have auto send. And you can, I leave this checked. So as soon as I click, my order will go through. You also have buy market, sell market. You can cancel all orders. I've never used reverse or flatten. I don't know what that is. Again, and then the quantity here you can adjust, or you can also click, quantity here. And then, so the way that I get to this, like if I want to trade SPY, let's say, and I'm looking at next Monday, and I'm wanting to grab like a 440 put. I'm sure everybody knows how to do this part, but you can right click, go down to add to watch list, and add it to your specific watch list. You can also copy and then use Control V, or if you're on Mac, it would be Mac key V to paste it into your watch list. And then once you have it, you can click here and you can see right here that it changes to this 440 put for, the 16th. And so, I can click on any of these and it's going to switch in active trader what I'm looking at buying. Down here, you can see the asks. So people are trying to buy, at 485, 484, 39 people, 57 people here, 482 people, so on and so forth. I'm sorry, 266 people at 482. And then up here we have sellers. So 112 sellers at 493, 11 sellers at 492, and 375 sellers at 491. I'm always trying to buy, below where the sellers are, unless the stock is moving fast. If the price is moving fast, then I will try to buy where we have actual sellers. So to buy, all you have to do is literally just click. So right now you see I have a limit for 1 because I have quantity set at 1 to buy 1 contract of this 440 put for Monday the 16th expiration. And I can literally click and drag this to wherever I want. When I let go, it would place the order here at 493. If I move it down, it's going to move the order down to 484. I can cancel it by pushing this X. Or sometimes, like as the stock moves, active trader will move and your order will be off the screen and you can't see it. You can click the X here to cancel it, or you can just press cancel all, and it'll cancel the order for you. And so you can see all this happening up in the upper corner here of my screen. If I go to a contract that I actually own, I can show you the selling side. It's going to be the same thing. If I want to sell, above where people are trying to buy, I can click anywhere up here, place my order. If the contract price starts going down, I can always just click this down and drag it to where there's actual buyers to get out of the contract quickly. Or I can also just click sell at market if I'm really desperate to get out. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Type or voice, it doesn't matter. So that's active trader in a nutshell. Very important, in my opinion. Everybody should be using it. You'll save yourself money on contracts. And also be able to get better exit prices and all of that. One of the things that Shorty likes to do is, so we have active buyers here. When he's looking to get out of a trade, I've noticed he'll do like a stop. So this is a stop limit order here. You can see it says -1 stop. And as the contract price goes up, he'll just drag it up to have like basically a trailing stop loss. If you get close to where there's buyers, though, it's going to fill. But so yeah, Shorty will just keep moving that stop price up as the stock goes up. Me personally, if I'm going to be using a trailing stop, now I have to reset all my charts. For me personally, if I'm up, like, I normally will sell at like positive 40% on contracts, but if something moves really quickly and I'm up like 60%, so I have some room, for me personally, I'll do like a trailing stop loss. So if you click on the ask, just like if you were selling, if you don't use active trader, you can click on limit here and change it to trail stop. And then this is the dollar value of your trailing stop loss. So you can adjust this, up or down based on how much more you're willing to risk. So let's say you're up $80 and you're willing to risk another 20. You can change this to $20. And that means if the price where it's currently at falls down by $20, it's going to automatically sell. If the price goes up, let's say $10, this will automatically move up $10, but still be -20. So, yeah. So if, for instance, if it's $100 the contract right now, and you place this order with a trail stop for $20 and it drops down to 80, it would sell at 80. But if the contract value went up to 110, your trailing stop loss would then move up to $90. And if the price dropped from 110 down to 90, it would automatically sell there. And again, this will just keep moving and following the price until it does make a -$20 move, and then it would sell. So that's how I prefer to use trailing stop losses versus Shorty's way. I'm not saying one's correct and the other one's not, but Shorty likes to use active trader here and just move his stop up as the price moves, and I just put in an automatic one where it'll just move for me automatically. So that's going to be that portion. Turns out this is going to be a pretty short video, I think, a pretty short class. So this should be what everybody has. If you purchase the indicators from Shorty for ToS, so you'll have your daily pivots, or you'll have your pivots, daily, weekly, monthly. You'll have your orbs, the VWAP cloud, the full send, and what else did you get? So you should have volume profile, orbs, pivots. You don't have resistance. Trend bar, VWAP cloud, and full send. I recommend everybody use this volume average, the volume average 50 right here, where it shows like the 50-day moving average with the volume. For that one, you just search volume average and it'll come up. That's the one that Shorty recommends. That's the one I recommend. It works really well. So that's that. Oh, wait, let me take off. Sorry. You guys do not have trend bar. Okay. So your pivots, you guys might notice, might not be showing up on the screen. If you come down here to these double arrows, the right expansion settings in the bottom right corner of the of thinkorswim, you're going to click on change right expansion settings. So if I set this to 0, my pivots don't show up. If I set this to anything other than 0, so like 10, then my pivots will show up. So you want to make sure you change that setting. You can see my daily pivot just popped up there. I like to use a pivot, expansion of 50 for a large chart. For my flex grid, I think I use like 25 or 10, something like that. 10, okay. So that's that. And then for me, all of these, well, like the orb high, orb low, orb 50, all of these labels get in my way during the trading day. So I actually remove them, and the daily pivot. If you look at my studies, where I go to load study set, I have Shorty Orbs, which has the labels. I have Orbs Flex Grid and Orbs with no labels. So I'll show you how this looks. Edit studies. If I click on Orbs here, you can see right here, this is where you're going to edit to not show the labels. And I'll show you how that looks on. So with no labels, to me, it's a lot cleaner. You just memorize what each one is. You know, this is the Orb 50, opening range high, 272, 618, yeah, and so on and so forth, and then to the downside as well. So you just want to memorize everything. You want to memorize the colors of the pivots. To change those settings, you're going to go to, well, let me just back up, studies, edit studies, click on Shorty, well, whatever you named it, but the orbs, and you'll want to change these. So where it says show label, it says no, show label no, show label no, show label no, show label fib no, show label fib no, show label fib no, show label fib no. And then once you do that, it will look like this without the labels. Like I said, for me, they just get in the way. I can't see the, sometimes I can't see my candlesticks because the labels are covering them. The other thing that I like to do, you know, and again, this is all personal preference. So if you don't like it, that's fine. Do yourself. So with the full send, it puts these moving averages, I think they are. It might be Keltner clouds, I'm not sure. So anyway, these two waves, wave 2 factor and wave 4 factor, I just uncheck show study and click apply, and it takes those off my chart. I still will get the full send. I just don't have those waves on my chart. Again, for me, it's just more noise. And I like to keep my charts pretty clean. This is generally what I look at, like something like this when I'm trading. The fibs are really good. So the orbs with the fibs are really good for, you know, knowing when to enter and exit trades and stuff like that. But I like to look at a more naked chart. Anyway. Sorry, I'm trying to think where to go to next here. Oh, a couple of things here. So, like, this little wave in the upper right corner of ToS, um, you can either have it set to auto or manual. So, with my drawing tools here, if I choose this hand, I'm gonna need to change to like a 5-day. But oh, sorry, I need this to zoom in. So if I change to this hand, I can pan, and the chart will automatically adjust to follow the candlesticks. As you can see, like the chart's moving up and down with the candlesticks. If I click this wave and set it to manual, I can actually move the chart up and down myself. Whereas if it's set to auto, I'm stuck to wherever. Like I can no longer move up and down. I can move side to side, but I can't move up and down. So this is a good one to know. Manual, you can actually then move the chart to wherever you want it. Anyway, just a little tip that's good to know. Down here where it says drawing set, I don't know why. So create a drawing set, name it whatever you want. Daily chart. And then if you click down here and create a drawing set for like naked chart, you'll notice all of the drawings went away. So my indicators are still there, but my drawings went away. So you can switch back and forth to having drawings and not having drawings. Yeah, I messed this up. You want to save the drawing, this one, as like your daily chart, and create one that's called naked chart, so that you can have one where you have no drawings. That way, if you're like if your chart is too cluttered and you're trying to enter a trade, you can quickly switch between the two, to get your drawings off the chart while you're looking to enter. And if you want your drawings back up, like as you're looking to exit the trade, it's really easy to load it back in down here. Another good thing to have saved on your charts here in ToS is on style. You can check or uncheck show studies. Again, if you just need to see the candlesticks naked or whatever, to turn that on, you go to the gear icon here, and where it says show studies here under general, you're going to click this, display this setting on the style menu. So you can see this one is filled, this square is filled in, whereas this one isn't. So anyway, you just click that so it's filled in and click apply, and then that will show up under style, where you can just check or uncheck show studies and quickly remove all of the indicators from your chart. Yeah, just some quick things, like I said, for me, when I'm trading, a lot of times I'm looking at a more naked chart. Yeah. So I'll just quickly cover like using the indicators that Shorty gave you guys. So for your entries, you're wanting to look at your confluence points. So after the first 30 minutes, your orbs open up. And so each orb level is going to be like one confluence point. So orb 50 is a confluence point, orb low is a confluence point, negative 272, negative 618, so on and so forth. And then to the upside, orb 50, opening range high, 272, 618. They're all going to be confluence points for entering trades. Then you also have your, sorry, let me zoom in here. Your VWAP cloud, your trend bar, the arrow indicators that come with the trend bar. All of these things act as confluence points for entering trades. And then, of course, your volume. Your volume is going to be your most important one. If you're using the volume with the 50 moving average, pretty safe to say anytime you're above that 50 moving average, you have enough volume to enter a trade. So you can just look at it at a quick glance and see whether or not you have enough volume to take a trade. But so the VWAP cloud is posted in ToS shared resources or something to that effect. Shared ToS resources. No problem. Good question. So I know for new people, there's, it's hard to go through all of the information on a new Discord, but definitely want to look at the shared ToS resources and shared trading view resources and import any of that stuff into your charts that you want. But so the VWAP cloud is really good because you'll see a lot of times where something will cross through. Like this candle here is a good example. The wick here actually crosses through the VWAP, but it doesn't make it through the other side of the cloud. So this VWAP cloud will actually protect you from getting into trades that would have otherwise failed, or protect you from exiting trades too early if you're using it for like a confluence point for exiting a trade. One thing Shorty loves is trend bar as far as staying in trades. As long as, like, if you're playing puts, as long as you're below the trend bar, you're good to stay in the play. Once you cross above trend bar, you're probably wanting to get out. And if you're playing, to the upside, if you cross below the trend bar, it's a good time to get out of the trade as well. So how the confluence points work is right here we have the weekly pivot. The blue line is the daily pivot. Like I said, memorize these colors. This pinkish one is going to be the weekly pivot. If you're wanting to be super conservative, you want to have 5 to 6 confluence points to enter a trade. So that can be any number of the things that you see on your screen. Your volume will be 1. These arrows, they are a lagging indicator, but those can be those can be a confluence point as well. Being above or below the trend bar is a confluence point. Breaking orb 50, orb low, 272, whatever, all of those are confluence points. And the VWAP is confluence points as well. So like if we're looking to trade SPY on Friday, for me, this whole area in the morning was just not tradable at all. So I wasn't looking to take any trades on SPY in this consolidation that was happening. Once we get over here and we have, I know up to this point we're below the VWAP on some cases, we're below trend bar in some cases, but we're still in this consolidation area. But here, so we're below trend bar, or we're below VWAP, we're below the orb 50, we have a sell indicator on the trend bar, we're below trend bar, and we break opening range low. Right here you can take a trade. And you have the volume as another confluence point. A lot of traders, Shorty including myself included, will tell you retest is normally going to be the better entry. So if you did take this trade here on the break of the orb low, you could have, your first trim is always going to be your 272 level. So this was a great trade. You would have got in, got out, and made money. Then when we come back up and retest, and again, you have another good entry here. Your first trim 272, second trim would be 618. And then each one of these orbs becomes your stop loss. So if you took a trade here down to 272 and got out, or trimmed, and then you go down below the 272 level, but then come back to it, that's where you would just exit the rest of your position. And same with like 618. If it pulls back to it, you'll just exit your whole position there. That would become your stop loss. Or like Shorty says, but Shorty has a much higher risk tolerance, I think, than most people in the Discord, myself included. And there's nothing wrong with that, but he has more money to play with. He'll actually wait a lot of times for things to cross back above or below the trend bar. I don't trade that way. But again, we're all going to have different risk tolerances. I'm not saying that Shorty's way is wrong. I'm just saying for me personally as a trader, I have a much tighter risk tolerance than Shorty does. And maybe when I can afford to lose more money, I'll ease up on my risk tolerance. But so that should be orbs. Hopefully everybody understands that. I mean, it's really not too complicated. You want 3+ confluence points to enter a trade. If you have 5 or 6 confluence points, then you're going to, you're going to have a much better chance of having a successful trade. And your technical analysis becomes a confluence point as well. So like this green rectangle for the rectangle consolidation, this becomes a confluence point as well. So if I was taking this trade here, if I add them up, the break of this rectangle consolidation would be 1. Below the VWAP is 2. I have a down arrow on my trend bar, that's 3. Below trend bar is 4. Below orb 50, or let's say below opening range low, is 5. And then down here, my volume above the 50 moving average is 6. So this is a 6 confluence point trade, and this is a great trade. So I will say about this, for me personally, I don't like trading with orbs just because it's very boring. It's very safe, but it's very boring. So if you're trying to grow an account, this is a great way to grow an account. You just have to wait and wait until you have 5 to 6 confluence points. With 5 to 6 confluence points, you have like an 80% chance or 90% chance of the trade being profitable. Take your trades and then get out at your first trim level, and then wait for a retest or wait for a new setup, or go somewhere, go to another chart and look for another setup. So it works really well. It's just very tedious. And for me, just doesn't personally work with my style. And again, I'm not saying it's bad. For me, it's just too tedious. It works very, very well. And then now we'll hop into like the full send, because everybody has this indicator, or everybody should, if you purchased it, I should say. For full send, you want to be on where am I? Anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes on the charts. So every single one of these charts is set to a 15-minute time frame. And you basically just, you're waiting for a full send to pop up. They're pretty accurate. I would say probably roughly like 80 to 90% accurate. So if we look at Apple here, we have a full send. If it pops up above the candle, that's telling you to take puts. If it pops up below, it's telling you to take calls. Your safe entry on Apple here would be you wait for the next candle to cross below the low of the candle that the full send popped up on. The way Shorty likes to trade these is different than what I just told you. But again, he has a higher risk tolerance, and there's nothing wrong with that. But so you want to use ashy candles with full send. And then when you get a full send, what Shorty likes to do is he'll go over to, he'll use 3-minute regular candles. So that full send on Apple came up would have come up at 11 in the morning. I feel like I'm looking at a different day. This is weird. All right, well, it looks like I'm not going to find one. But so you want to find your full sends on 10, 15, or 30-minute time frames. I guess you could also do 20-minute. Once you find one, like I said, on your ashy candles, there's a couple of ways you can do the trade on ashies. So like, again, the full send came up on this candle here. The low of this would be like your safest entry to take puts when the price crossed below the low of this. The low of the candle that the full send came up on. You will see like sometimes a full send will come up on this candle and then it'll move to the next candle and move to the next candle because we haven't started seeing a reversal. But so if you spot the full send on ashies and you switch to like your regular 3 minutes, let's just pretend the full send came up on this green candle here. I'm looking for a reversal. So once I start seeing it going red, I could then hop in the trade earlier for puts because they're based on Elliott waves. Can I chart the premiums? Earth is killing me. I hate charting premiums. Yeah, I will. So you can exit. I'm sorry, you can take the trade as soon as you start to see a reversal, or you could wait for it to cross below, like if the full send came up on this green candle here, the safe entry would be the low of that candle, including the wick. So I could wait for it to cross below before I take puts. And so that's how you use the full send. So for who's faceless, the big red and green arrows, those are part of trend bar. And those are, like put and call indicators or buy and call indicators, but they're a lagging indicator. All right, thanks guys. It looks like there's no more questions, so I'm going to cut out and go spend some time with my family. Sincere Pickle will post an edited version of this in the video section a little bit later. And it'll include like the information for editing your VM file and different memory settings depending on how much you have. So everything will be there for you guys. Anyway, have a good rest of your weekend. I guess I'll probably see some of you tomorrow morning. Anyway, take care. Bye.